Hello, folks. I'm just waiting to see does the bits and pieces connect how they're supposed to, and then we'll get a road on the show. Hello, let me see. We've got Jack, Andy, Dan, and Michael over there at the moment, I believe. How are you guys? We'll just give it a few minutes to see will anybody else jump in. You will see me looking up slightly every now and then because I have two screens and I've got the chat just up there. Let me know what the feed's like. If it's jumping in and out or being messy, then I have a couple of settings I can play with. So we'll see how we go. You are all very welcome to what should be the Rob and Steve Uncut and Live show, which this is our first show. This is where we will be each week, 9:30 UK Irish time, here on the new channel. You're all very welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and please hit the thumbs up button just so we know that we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, Rob is not here at the moment because unfortunately his nan passed away last night, who I love very much too. I had a lot of time for Nan and spent many an hour with her, so she will be greatly missed. She passed away last night, so Rob won't be able to join us this evening, obviously. Hi Mark, Cliff, how are you? Sounding a bit throaty. Maybe because I'm using these, but it's because I've been doing a lot of talking on Facebook today as well. Funny enough. So, sound is a little bit dodgy, and right, okay, so I'm going to mess. Let me just, like I say, this is our first show on this channel, and I have to get the settings set up. I'm going to jump out of this and jump onto this. Bear with me, folks. There we go. Let me know if that improves things, folks. Howdy doody. Yeah, I think that might fix it. Let me know if that does fix it. If not, I will play with it. I'll take the headset off and get rid of the mic. Maybe that might fix things too. Okay, so basically, due to the video freezes intermittently. Okay, well, we'll see. Does it cue itself now? I played with the settings. Hi, Wessel. Like I say, tonight's show is going to be the main topic is going to be about Facebook groups. Right, I'm going to take. Bear with me. I'm going to take the headset off. I don't need it anyway. How's that now? I will check my settings. It's all about the settings, folks. Microphone. How is that? Is that any better, folks? Let me move this microphone over, and maybe that will cure the problem. Now, how is that, folks? Is that any better? It's we got all night. We got all night. Better, 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 better for me. It's okay now. Cool. Perfect. All right. That's good. Adult nature. Yeah, don't worry, Lydia. You're very welcome. I'm not going to be getting undressed or anything like that. This YouTube channel is not monetized, so I don't have to worry. Hopefully, like I say, this is all new. This live chat kind of stuff about other subjects other than making. So it's not monetized. So as far as I know, it's okay for language and stuff like that. So if you are offended, bugger off, basically, because I want this to be a real show, and I don't want it to be the sort of show. I don't want it to be the sort of show that we mamby-pamby around things. If there's a topic to be discussed, we'll talk about it openly. We won't shite hawk or mess. We'll get things said. We'll get it sorted out, but it will be done in an adult and mature way. That this channel is not going to be about having a go at people and picking on people. I'm not into bullying and things like that, even though there has been a wide range of bullying going on the Facebook groups, I feel, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Lydia, on a scale of 1 to 10, how vexed am I? I'm not vexed at all. Disappointed, very disappointed in the way that some of these groups are being run, and then very disappointed in the way the excuses are made as well. It's just not, something doesn't add up. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll get to the top of the point of what's going on in groups. But then again, maybe we won't. You know, it's just one of them shady areas, and I don't really know why, because everybody's making shit and producing unbelievable stuff, and I just don't get why people would get spiteful and have a go at people. I mean, your bowl's better than my bowl. I mean, that's bollocks. Don't agree with that. Okay, Asgard, hello, Mr. Stratton, how are you? Wayne, Cliff, Lee, said hello to Dan. Hi, Holly. You can't get the video to load. Okay, yeah. Tracy Keaton had that problem as well with my live show at the weekend. For some reason, YouTube does seem to mess around. Yeah, but Lydia, I don't buy that as an excuse. It's human nature. That if you don't agree with something, we'll get into this in a minute anyway, because it's not going to be, it won't be fair. I'm not going to be one-sided on this. I am going to invite admins onto the show. Those of you that want to appear on the show, it's going to be an open discussion. It's not going to be a finger pointing practice tonight. It's going to be a talk about, discuss, and if you are going to be easily offended by questions that are going to be honest, then please don't ask to be on the panel. You can stay in the chat, and if you don't like what's going on, then fuck off. But if you don't like what's going on, you've got the option, you know, unsubscribe and bugger off. I don't buy that at all. So if you want to come on as the panel, I want it to be fair. I'm not worried about language and people getting upset, but if you're going to get upset for a proper reason. Okay, so if you are an admin of a group, or you have an honest opinion about this, and this is not sniping people, if you have an honest opinion about this, then you can head over to my Facebook page. If you're friends with me, then message me. I'm only gonna work with people that I'm friends with tonight. I will, because this is kind of a new show. I've still got to get Facebook pages and things like that set up. I just want to see how we go. And obviously Rob would normally be here to join in. But if you do want to be a part of this show tonight and you want to come on and honestly, openly talk about it, then Facebook message me right now and I will send a link to the panel. We can only fit 10 people in maximum, I believe, which is 9 more than me. I'm just putting my phone on here so that I get and message me on my own personal one, the Stephen Twidell chat. Okay. And that's not someone sending anything. That's Curtis Campbell, my tattoo boy. Whoa! Okay, I messaged you this morning. The admin's answer. Yeah, yeah, we're going to get into that. I left Woodchuckers ages ago, then was allowed back in by Stephen Gibson. Thanks, Stephen. Now I'm blocked. Don't know why. Okay, Lydia. Well, you know, that kind of shit happens a lot for some reason. Rolled in. I am not of wood turning or crafting community though. I follow and will still rock your goblins, but I run my own channel and podcast and have him monitor as it's done. Okay, yeah, I understand that, Turkey Paz, and you know, and you're very welcome. This is not a makers channel. This is an all-topic channel. It will have making and all that. And tonight it doesn't have to be about makers groups. It could be any groups. If you're a part of other groups as well, then you know it's all to do with Facebook groups and how they're run. And a majority of them are run okay, but a lot of others are run really freaking badly. Okie dokie, I have a couple of messages here. Righty. Okay, I have a couple here, so I'm going to bear with me while I grab the link over here and I will send it to you, lads. We might go a little bit choppy here for a second, but don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Now you see, there you go, Lydia. Steve's going to message you. Fixing things already. How is everybody anyway? For those of you that have just joined and are wondering, oh, there we go. Yeah, those of you that have just joined and you're wondering where Rob is, Rob's granny passed away last night, very sadly, and sorry, I'm just getting my links sorted out here. Rob's granny passed away last night, so he won't be able to join us probably for tonight and most probably for next week. He'll be off the scene for a while. His granny is in England. I'm not sure what the arrangements and what the reasons were, but a sad time for him. So please please have him in your prayers or your thoughts, or in however way you sorry, I'm just looking at messages. However way you deal with them kind of things, send him some love anyway. He's going to need it. Okay, so that's one. One cent. Okay, guys, the people that have just asked to join in with the chat, I am just sending you links now. Now, you will need to have a Google account and you will need to be signed into Google Hangouts. So you just click the link and your faces will appear. We have 3 people that have asked to join. And JP is going to join us as well. He is a moderator. He's just letting me know that he's joining. Just send him a poo. Right, there we go. Okie dokie, let me get my chat back up. I have to remove the chat and pop it out so I can see it. Right, let me move my chat over so I can see whoever joins. People will pop up in the right. Okay. Yeah, people have asked to just install in their Hangouts, so don't panic. It works better in Google too, and not in Microsoft or any of that. Okay, opinion time. Steve, do you think Facebook is oversaturated with groups, or do you think there should be more of them? Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay, CNC. Mark, Facebook, in my opinion, is not oversaturated with groups because you can choose what groups you go into and you can choose what groups you leave. But here lies the problem. If you're going to moderate a group or a page, then I believe that you should put all your time and energy into that one group and page. I think the problem comes is if you split yourself up and you try and moderate more than one page, or you spread yourself out thin, and then you start getting other people to help you with moderating, and you don't necessarily know that person, and you only know that person through Facebook, you've never met them in your life. Here we go. Let me just make sure I have volume. How are you, Shane? I have speakers. How are you, Shane?
Very well, Steve. How are you doing? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if the audience can. This is Shane. Shane, can you just pronounce your second name, because I never can? I don't know if you can hear me, Shane, can you? Shane, I think you're muted.
Okay, sound check 1, 2. Hello, guys. How are you?
That's perfect. Yeah, we can hear you. Shane, I think you're muted. Okay, so Shane, if you can just tell everybody, while I'm just catching up with the chat, if you can just tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Fantastic.
And,
all right.
Yeah. Okay, so Shane, if you can just tell everybody, while I'm just catching up with the chat, if you can just tell everybody who you are and what. Fantastic.
All right. Yeah, well, my name is Shane Pizzarli. It's an absolute pleasure hearing and seeing you, Steve, as well. Thank you for having me on. I run my own podcast. It's called Random Urban Memories. Parallel to running that, we also have, well, a YouTube running towards it. So it might be only an audio file, but it also could be us recording on video. So that obviously, because we have 2 channels of communications, 3 actually, through Facebook as well, that leaves us open as admins to obviously public comments, personal comments, whatever that may be. So that being kind of the theme of today. But the point I was going to bring up, and we can bring it up later, is that I did an interview with a tech review YouTuber who had really great advice about censoring. He doesn't like to use that word, but moderating his own YouTube channel. And it's in regards to sticking to the point. So that's all I'm going to say for now, but it's a good point.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Everyone welcome Shane. Shane is a recent new friend to me. Actually, Shane is the person that I made the Game of Thrones goblets for his wedding. That was late last year, I think. But yeah, thank you for joining, Shane. I think there are other people going to be joining us very soon. They are just verifying accounts and such.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing I was going to put up. We still have the goblets standing. We're still rocking the goblets, custom made, absolutely fantastic. We're rocked at our wedding. Fantastic. And still, endless thank you to you, man.
No problem. Okay, yeah. So where I was, yeah. So if you don't necessarily know the people that you've got helping you moderate, you only know them through Facebook. You don't know that person and how they react to certain situations. So if you're bringing on somebody that you only know in, we'll say, because it's my field, the wood turning field, you don't know how they react to someone jokingly saying you're a twat, or jokingly saying, what do you know about wood turning? Because personalities can't be shown clearly on the keyboard. Okay, so if you bring in a moderator on your group and you say, right, off you go, you have free reign, then is people bounce off of each other. You have an admin that then goes rogue and starts deleting people because they don't necessarily agree with what you agree, and before you know it, your page has been completely sabotaged by a person you thought was a friend. Not only that, you lose complete control over your channel, over your group too. So when you say something, you don't necessarily know that you're answering to something that happened three months ago. You know, Stephen, sometimes you do have trouble connecting. Make sure you're doing it through Google. Use a verified account and stuff like that. If you can't come on tonight, Stephen, it's not a problem. We will get you on another night. We will discuss this another night. It's going to be ongoing. Let me just fill you in with what happened today and yesterday, and indeed over the last few months. There was a Facebook page last year. It's called Woodchuckers. It's a huge community of many thousands. Dan is struggling too. Okay. Yeah, of many thousands. A great community, fantastic, and everything was tickety boo. And then new admins took over and yada yada yada, and new rules, and certain products were being mentioned on the page. And because I'm friends with the people that make the certain products, I stood up for my friends. I didn't stand up for the product. I stood up for my friends by the way that they were being targeted. And my opinion, this is, I didn't agree with what things were being said about them, so I stood up for them. I wasn't in any way rude to start with. I was polite. I expressed my view. I pushed comments backwards and forwards to people. I got in touch with admin through Messenger and publicly, and I was kicked off, boom, gone, because they didn't like what I was saying, as were many others. And it just kept going and going, just because the admin didn't agree with the way the conversation was going. It wasn't because the admin had been offended. It wasn't because it was a personal attack on people. It was comments that I made, valid comments and questions I asked, and because it wasn't, this is my opinion now. Now, obviously, the admins have their own opinion and are quite welcome to say that. You can say it in chat if you don't want to come on. You can write whatever you want in that chat. You're not going to offend anyone. Okay, that's what it's there for. I want discussion about this. And I got booted off, as did many other people. I'm not a rude person, and I'm not an ignorant person. I speak my mind, and if I feel that my friends or acquaintances or my own personal beliefs or thoughts have been invaded or insulted, I'll stand up and I will tell you, if you've been a bollocks, I'll say you've been a bollocks, but I'm willing to accept that sometimes things like that happen. But let's get over this. But if I say I don't agree with what you've said, can we explain this? And then you put the hand up in front of my face and shut me down, then one finger to you. I don't want to know you. You're not the sort of person I want to know. I'll debate and I'll discuss, but I won't get insulted. That's my opinion. And then the last couple of days, I got contacted by someone, and they said, Steve, are you a member of the UK and Ireland wood turning group? And I said, I am. Yeah, I was on it not so long ago. I think I'll go and check. And I went to check, and lo and behold, I've been booted off. Now, the last comment I made, someone actually found it for me because I couldn't get on it. I've actually been blocked as well. Not only been kicked off of the group, but I've been blocked. The last comment they found was I discussed with a member on there about a particular style of how they're going to go about a project. It wasn't insulting. I just said, this is how I do it, and that was it. So I don't see why I've been kicked off. So I contacted admin. One admin didn't get in touch with me. I was told they're on holiday. The other admin did get in touch with me, and basically it was said, I know the other admin was doing a cull. They were getting rid of inactive members, and that's probably why you're gone. And I thought, okay. So I'm a member of, let's put it in this perspective. I'm a member of, let's say, youth club. Okay. And I go into the youth club and I'm there, and then I go on holiday for a month, and I come back and I knock on the door and I go to walk into the youth club, and the owners say, whoa, 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 sorry, you can't come in. And I say, why is that? Well, you haven't been here for 4 weeks. Well, okay. Did I insult you? No. All right. Okay. So did I offend anyone here? No. Well, why can't I come back in? Well, just because you didn't come in here the last 4 weeks. Why would you be welcome anymore when you haven't stepped foot in the place for 4 weeks? Well, because I thought that I had friends here, and I thought that I had a common interest, and I thought that we shared things, and I'd made friends and such like. So this then escalates to, okay, but that's not it. You're blocked. We don't want you within a mile radius of the youth club. Well, why not? Well, because we don't want you signing up to come back in again. Well, why not? Because you've been away for 4 weeks. Do you see where I'm going here, folks? It doesn't make sense to be kicked out of a group without being messaged or asked, Steve, you're quite an active member of the wood turning community. We're just wondering why you haven't popped into our group. Have we done something that you don't agree with? Would you like us to remove you from the group? That gives me the opportunity to then say, yeah, actually, such and such, or no problem. It's just I've been busy, or is I haven't had a time to pop in. All right. I say bullshit. You kick me out because I've got a mouth, and you kick me out because I know for a fact you've kicked other people out that are big players in the wood turning community, and you know that not stand up and say something because they have a lot more to lose than I have. I don't give a fuck. I've got nothing to lose. My friends, yes, I'll come on and I will tell you you're being a twat, and I'll give you a chance to defend it. But do not kick me out of a group when I haven't done a single thing wrong. That's just bad form, and it's putting a bad name in the wood turning, the making community, and it's giving a bad name for all groups. Please discuss. Shane, jump in there if you like. Okay, so let me see. Let me catch up on chat. Just Shane, you can jump in and chat whenever you want. I'm not sure if your mic is working. Just make sure that you're switched on there.
Okay, now can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. No too much of a feedback apart from your side, Stephen. Could that be?
Maybe. Could be. Uh,
All right, check 1, 2.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're good.
that's much better.
You're
All
good.
good on the hood. All good on the hood. Okay, it's very interesting points that you brought up. I think what a lot of admins don't do, or what I've seen in a lot of groups that I might be in, is they're not doing their or not performing their due diligence. Like you had mentioned before, they kick you out left, right, and center, or it seems like left, right, and center, however it may be, but not being active for only, as you say, um, for only a certain amount of time. That's simply not quite correct. If you see an inactive member for maybe 8 months or a year, then maybe you can make a safe assumption and say, okay, let's just assume now to clear up space. Then maybe you can make a safe assumption. But to be gone at the length of time that you said does seem a little bit suspicious to me. But leading back to, well, whatever hearkening comments there might have been beforehand, I had a great interview with a tech reviewer, as I mentioned before, Channel Tech Showdown. His name is Kevin. And I had wondered why his YouTube channel, his comments all seemed fairly sensible, right? And this kind of relates back to the whole issue of censoring and whatnot. The point being, he brings out tech reviews. It's pertinent to the conversation, and anything that is irrelevant to the conversation, he kind of edits out in terms of if it's just trolling, if it's just simply nasty, if it's unnecessary, that kind of thing. Of course, where is the limit? That's another question to be discussed. But the whole point is, isn't that the reason for these forums? Isn't that the reason for these groups, for us to discuss? Let's get together. Yes, there's differing opinions. I'm on a pro-science page for parents, that kind of thing as well. And there's plenty of differing opinions. Until someone really gets out of line, it's just plainly insulting. Yeah, then they get booted out. But somebody might put something fairly controversial out there where other people might be like, ooh. But
Yeah.
in the comments, it's fairly reasonable. It's fairly all right. They were like, okay, I see where you're going with that. Didn't have to formulate it that way. Or I don't agree with your viewpoint. Have you tried this kind of thing? Isn't that the whole reason we have these groups? So we can exchange ideas, so we can exchange communication. But from the information that you're providing me is sounds a little bit dodgy. Yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I'm not in the groups that you are, or whatever. But just as soon as I saw your post go up, I immediately had to think of that. And yeah, us moderating our podcast channel, us moderating our YouTube channel, I get to see the comments before I release them, kind of thing, on my YouTube channel. And you do occasionally see absolute nonsense where you're like, that has nothing to do with anything. So therefore, it's worth removing. But if I see something controversial show up, then I'm like, ooh, maybe that should actually go up. That actually might actually fire up a good discussion. A good discussion. It's all about discussion and engagement. So I don't know, Steve, what you're telling me, man, sounds a little bit fishy. A little bit fishy. And like I said, I am removed from the situation. That's the whole point. But just from what I'm hearing, your evidence as it is doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go about it.
Look,
Anyway.
that's why it's good to have you on, Shane, because you're a neutral party in all this, and we can see your side coming in, and that's what I like about this. And anybody that's in a neutral side is always welcome on the show. That's what this is about. Let me just comments here. I don't want to ignore folk over there. Let me see. I'm just going to chip it up here. Lindsay, I'm kind of with Asgard here. Why cull numbers? A good percentage of the membership doesn't post anything. Read, watch, and learn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you are going to cull members, then just drop them a message. It doesn't take much just to even put a group message up on the group saying we are going to be culling. We are going to be culling group members on such and such a date. This is the reason why. If you don't want to be, then just click like or say hi, and we won't cull you. If we don't hear from you, then we're going to remove you. You've had fair warning then, and you've had a chance to voice your opinion. That's why I joined Woodchuckers in the first place, to learn. I was only seeing drama, so I split. I don't need Facebook drama. I have 5 kids. That give me plenty of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a family man. I have kids as well.
Yeah.
Kids. Yeah, it is like a bunch of kids. Steve, is this a leftover from an issue mods in some group had with you a few months ago? Again, unfairly, in my opinion. Brendan, I was removed yesterday. Well, actually, I think it was probably over a week ago. I've only just realised though, but I was removed from the UK and Ireland wood turning group, which is annoying because the UK and Ireland. I mean, you know, a lot of the other groups are American, and it was good to be part of the UK and Ireland wood turning group because I could see local people, and there was some guys that I'm very good friends with on there, and now I'm disconnected from them on that site just because an admin decided they didn't want me there anymore. I belong to about 100 groups. This is Wurzel. I belong to about 100 groups, posting about a dozen of them, but follow the others as interesting. Yeah, exactly, and that's the way groups work. Sorry, folks, I am looking up here because I've got people messaging me as well, so just please bear with me. I want in. It keeps telling me it's taking too long to connect. You want? I know you want to connect. Are you doing it through Google? You have to have a Google account, and you have to go and click on the Google Hangouts. It's the only way it will work. And an updated Google too, because Google are just to update and stuff. Okay, Dan, maybe if you've just program, maybe shut down your computer and reboot it, and maybe that might fix it. Sometimes that does work. Yeah, Martin was booted off, but because Martin's not here, I can't speak for Martin. It would be unfair to speak. It's not right that he has been booted off. I agree, and as a friend, I am just as disgusted because Martin is probably a bigger person than me out there in the wood turning community, and you know, he is actually making a living from wood turning. So for popular groups to dismiss people that are making a living, that actually, that's not fair either. You know, come on. Trying to call you, Steve, for a video call. Okay, that's not going to work, Stephen, because my bandwidth won't handle more than one application open at one time. So, Stephen, don't worry. If you want to voice your opinion, you can either type it into the chat there. I will do a private interview with you over the week, and I will share it here on this show next Saturday, or you can join us next Saturday once you get your pieces sorted out. And you were all kind of thrown in the deep end this evening and didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know this was going to be the topic. I had a completely different topic sorted out for this evening, but this just jumped in, so I thought I'd jump on it while it was relevant. Can Facebook analytics even show you if someone is not active? Makes no sense. Even if you're not active on the group, you're still active in the community. Exactly. I just say the inactivity as a story for being kicked off of a page. That's just a bullshit excuse, because you haven't got the brass balls to come on and tell me why I was kicked off. I'm not going to jump through the screen and rip your throat out. Sometimes I do feel that way. I will discuss it with you, but if you're not going to discuss it with me, then I can only assume you're a knob. The problem with those types of admin are that their subscribers are losing the members. They are small-minded people. Yeah, I mean, with big players in the community such as Martin Saban-Smith, Mike Walt, and boys that have had this as well. Now, like I say, I can't speak for those about what groups they're in or anything like that anymore. But yeah, you don't take a big player in the community out of a group, because they've got huge influence and they've got huge amounts of schooling and lessons that they can tell you. They can put you right, share their experiences, and man, oh man, don't. Hello, Tracy. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just in the throes of talking. Yeah, don't kick big players out. That's a wrong move. A big, bold wrong move. I can't see with over 2,000 members how you can possibly monitor who is active and who isn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just this whole is many of you just say yes. How many of you have been removed from Facebook group for a reason? If you've turned around and been insulting to someone, or you've caused trouble in the group, then yes, you've been removed because that's the rules, you've broken them. But if you just give me a yes if you've been removed from a group from what you can see for no reason, or just see the percentage of how many people actually get kicked out of groups for no reason. Wouldn't let it upset you, bud. After getting booted from Woodfuckers, I just found a group. Grit and Sheen is the way to go. Grit and Sheen is a fantastic group, yes. Because it has good moderators and good people running it and fair people running it. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Dan is a yes. Yes, it's an excuse. Exactly, Terry. It's not upset me. It disappoints me to think that I am being removed from communities that I like being part of. And if it's just being petty, and spiteful, then, you know, fuck off. I did not know there were any rules to joining these groups. I thought anyone could join, hobbyist or pro, or not even a wood turner. Yeah, anyone can join. Now, some of them are moderated, and some wood turning groups or woodworking groups won't let you join their group if you don't have any pictures of woodworking or anything like that, because there are trolls. There are people out there to cause trouble. There are people there that light a little fire, sit back and watch it burn. People like that, you know. But you can either decide to ignore them and move on, or if you do ban them, give them a good reason why you're doing it, because sometimes they're lighting the fire, and it's a good fire to stir things up and to get people to actually think about what they're saying and doing.
You're absolutely right on that.
Told it was okay. I'll gladly chat. Sorry, this is Stephen Gibson. I'll gladly chat with you openly and honestly. As admin of Woodchuckers, I have nothing to hide about the group. Yeah, well, that's good, Stephen. That's fine. And I'm not saying that you do. I just feel that I was treated very, very unfairly on Woodchuckers, as have a lot of people been treated unfairly. I was removed from Woodchuckers because I stood up for fellow woodturners and people that I thought had worked very hard to build up a product range. And just because their product was being mentioned on one of the, if not the biggest wood turning communities, that shows how good their product is. If Sainsbury's and bought yourself a pack of chewing gum and it was the most amazing pack of chewing gum you've ever tried in your life, you want to tell people who like chewing gum that that is the most amazing pack of chewing gum, and you want to share it with the world and say, try this chewing gum, it's amazing. So if you go onto a wood turning forum and people are discussing products that are absolutely amazing and they're really glad that they were introduced to it and it works really well, then fuck me, haven't they done their job well? And isn't it brilliant for the wood tanning community, because they're all getting products that work really well? Don't boot people off because they're mentioning that product. That is complete bollocks. You should be drawing in on that and saying, right, guys, this is a great product. Let's see how we can use this product. The problem I had, Stephen, and like I say, you're not here in person. The problem I had was the way that was dealt with. And it was spiteful, plain outright spiteful how things went down. I expect a forum that you pay for to be moderated, not a free group. Well, okay, I don't agree with that, Michael, and I tell you why. Pages and groups are made voluntary, okay? And depending on the time you have and the amount of time you're willing to put in on, the amount of time you're willing to put in on a group and how big the group gets, you do have a right to control that group. Okay, I think Shane's heading off. Are you heading off, Shane? Thanks very much for joining.
Thank you. No, thank you very much for even having me on. Fantastic. And really nice to meet some of you guys. Really, really open and very chilled bunch of people, especially about such a hot topic. It's an absolute pleasure reading the comments and seeing and listening in as to what's going on. I mean, I'm sure it's reflected across many areas and many themes, but it's still good to see that there's such a solidarity within certain themes here. That's very pleasant, very, very pleasant, actually. So shout out to all of you guys. Yeah, absolutely lovely. And the point that was made earlier about the whole calling people in terms of Facebook, just at the point before I go, because I got to pop back into the sitting room, is actually, yeah, that's completely right. The days of culling people from old school forums due to whatever it may be, server space or whatever, and culling members for that reason, those days are gone. Like, all you do is you inflate your numbers of members, even if they're completely inactive. So I will retract my earlier statement of like, well, just if you want to call it whatever, which is also up to the admin, that's fine. But the necessity of having to do that is actually gone now. So all you do is have a larger list of people on your members group. Even if they don't comment, your group simply looks bigger. So absolutely right to whoever said that earlier. I couldn't remember the name and I can't scroll up quick enough to actually mention him. So absolutely right. There is absolutely no reason to call members, even if they're quiet. And also, as a example from myself, is on one of the science groups that I'm on, they post exceptionally heavy scientific papers that I can't continuously comment on, but I'm sitting, watching, and learning. But I'm enjoying it because occasionally you get your lighter-hearted moments or whatever, and I've only commented once or twice in the last couple of months, but I'm absorbing all the information that's there, and that's the important bit, and I'm not going to get kicked. There's no reason for it. I'm there, I'm watching, I'm reading, I'm learning, and whatever it is. So that's a fantastic opportunity and absolutely right. So I was wrong earlier, unless it's a decision of the admin to do so, to call people, but days of saving server space or whatever it may be on forums, those days are gone. So it has to be a conscious decision. And I guess I'll have to leave you with that, but I really, really want to stay with you guys there. But I gotta pop back into the sitting room, unfortunately. But thank you very much for having me on, Steve, and thank you to all of you guys. And I really do hope that I'm going to get into contact with some of you, right? So keep up the discussion. That's the main thing. We're all here to chat to each
other. I'll put a link to Shane's YouTube and to his podcast down below in the descriptions once this video is finished. Thank you, Shane. And maybe you can all head over and give him some love on his podcast.
Yep. If you need any controversial nonsense spoken by two unfamous people, then absolutely listen in to us. Ha. And oh yeah, very interestingly, you can actually check out the interview with the YouTuber, and that's where some of the information actually came about the censoring of commentary and moderating his YouTube channel. But thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and take it easy.
Cheers, Shane. Thanks a million. Take care.
Thank you. See you later.
So yeah, sorry. So I believe it is this Dan from British Made Pen Kits, Taylor Murfield. We also have words with suppliers who post for the sole purpose of posting their own trade. I have to think about. Yeah. Okay. I agree. If you've got a group and you've got someone that's just constantly coming on and hammering their own products, then yes, you have to have a word with them. But give them a 3 strikes and they're out. Don't keep posting your products. You're gone. Or you can sponsor this group by paying us money, and you can advertise your product, but it's going to cost you money. But yes, I agree with that. But if you've got people using a product and they think it's great, and all of a sudden there's a big of this particular product, then take it and just go with it and then ignore it. It's not going to kill your group. It's not going to finish your group. It's not. It's just a product. I think I mentioned products in all of the photos I posted. Yeah. Won't try and sell those Ray-Bans now. Ray-Bans are crap anyway, especially in Ireland. You know, these rules have really, really cut into my weekend. Sunglasses side business. I used to mention products because when I was new, I wanted to know what to use. I still do on other groups, and it's not a problem. Yes. A new product today off at Yandles. Gonna try and post it somewhere on Facebook. If I love it, I'll say I love it. Yeah, exactly. And that's how products get out there. These now, don't get me wrong. If it's a huge company, a massive company, no, I'm not going to say that. Even if it's a big company, it's a good product. It should be advertised. It should be sent out there. But the smaller guys too that are trying to make a living from this, and it's their only living, then they need all the advertising they can get, and they will push their product. And I don't blame them pushing it. But the smaller guys that are trying to make a living from this, and it's their only. Dan, if you just mute the actual YouTube that you've got up there, you won't get a double feedback thing that's going on.
Oh.
Hello, how are you?
Is that working now?
It is working perfect, yeah. It's just that viewers will get the sound of YouTube if you've got it.
Yeah, I've had to go for the phone option.
All right, no, that's okay. You're very welcome. How are you?
Super, thank you. I am highly amused from today. It has made my day. Actually, I had quite a nice Saturday at your expense.
1 second now. Your sound's a bit low there. So have you got your thumb over the mic on there?
No, it's just crap.
All
right.
A minute.
The problem is I can't hear you because. Oh.
Yeah, you'll hear me on the Hangout, but you won't hear me on YouTube.
Now I can hear you. Right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, nice haircut, Dan.
So this has taken me about half an hour to get on. So I hope you appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, I do. It's an absolute nightmare sometimes.
All right. I'm going to find some
Dan,
headphones. I'll be back in a minute.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, guys. As I say, as we get people coming in on the group chats, especially people that aren't used to doing the group chats, it does take a while for them to get used to settings and things like that. So just bear with us. We will get it right as we go along. Let me see. What a lovely bunch of heads. Where do I get them? Ray-Bans. Good night. What about when fans, users continually post? Okay. Yeah. If they continue to post about a product, an admin of a group, you are perfectly within your right to message them or to put up a group chat and say, okay, guys, or if it's a lot of people, say, look, can you just cut it down a bit? You know, we've noticed this product's being mentioned a lot, and although it is a fantastic product, maybe people are sick of hearing about it. You know, if it continues, then moderate it sensibly. Get in touch with the people that are doing it. It's never any more than probably 5 or 10 people that are doing it at any one time. So it's not hard to message those people. Okay. Moderate it fairly. Don't just go, you're trying to push a product, blah, 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 blah. Accuse people and then get rid of them before they can even say their side of the story. Yorkshire Grit is quality. Oh, nice push in there, Terry. Yeah. Yeah, I'll start a group and name it after your product. Exactly. Stephen Gibson. The previous admins, unbeknown to me, decided that all posts that mentioned Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen were no longer allowed. I was at work with no internet at the time, and when I got back to the real world of internet. Okay, well, that's fair enough. That's fine, Stephen. That's, you know, but that wasn't really ever said to me like that, in all fairness. I don't believe. So if someone asks what type of lathe I'm using, I'm not allowed to say. Yeah, of course you're allowed to say. Why wouldn't you say? It's, you know, exactly. There's lathes being named all the time. Lydia says, Stephen Gibson, you took over. You're the admin now. You can change your rules. Exactly. You're in the driving seat. You run the site how you feel fair to run the site. Stephen, what was the admin's yeah, okay, that's first Stephen Gibson. Okay. Now, Dan, how are you now? You're all sorted.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And do you want to just say who you are and where you're from and all that kind of good stuff, okay, so that people that may not know you will know you?
Establish my best angle at the moment, so just bear with me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Okay, so I'm Dan Smith. I am director, owner of Taylor's Murfield and BritishMadePenkits.co.uk. Sorry, BritishMadePenkits.com. I also am admin on UK Pen Turners. I set UK Pen Turners up because I was a bit aggrieved by the amount of people that were just going for cheap adverts on other groups. So they were appearing and just posting random, I'm selling this cheap type stuff. And I set it up, hopefully quite honourably, in allowing as many suppliers, UK suppliers, to post on there, providing that they abide by the rules, are you not flooding it and things like that. And that's where we are. Yeah. I've got Walter Hall, who moderates. He moderates quite a few things. I've also got a guy called George Burden. He is quite local to me. I know him quite well. And I trust them both to make a decision if I'm not there. They always run stuff past me. Just so we're consistent. There's no decisions made in haste. And there's always two people that agree on it before they remove something. So you can't really fault that.
No, that's a fair way of running things.
Oh, using the phone's probably
okay. So I can read out any. I can read out any messages. I know seeing messages are hard when you're using the phone, Dan. So I'll read out cool. Messages that come. How would you, as an owner, a moderator of a group, how would you deal with a grievance? If someone comes on and says, "I don't agree with such and such with what someone's saying," what would your process be to go around that?
We've got a lot of grumpy old men in wood turning, so we're not going to deny it. Everyone's got difference of opinions. We've got some arseholes like yourself and people like that. So it's not. Yeah. We've got a nice variety of people. Unless someone is highly offensive or slanderous, which we can all agree is slanderous and is a consensus among a group of members that are active. The first thing we'd do, unless it was really serious, is we'd message them and just say, come on, you need to tone this down. I wouldn't have adopted the same attitude that someone has today of not commenting on it. I think that just creates doubt and creates frustration amongst the members, or some members at least. I'm sure there's some people on there that are quite happy to fight the other side, but for me, the guy should have come on and said, he don't have to give names, he don't have to give specifics, but he could have said it was a breach of this rule. That's all it had to be today.
Yeah.
And at least the member would have known. They can disagree with all they like, but at least they'd have known. So, I like to say, I've taken great enjoyment in stoking the fire a little bit today, just because I wanted an answer, and I've still not got it. So,
do you cull your group, Dan, at all?
No. I know there's a few people that have snuck in there from a trading perspective that are obviously just sat and watching. And I don't mean UK suppliers. I mean the African random name that comes up that has no association with woodworking at all, that appears and every group gets them. I know there's one in there. The reason being is that the obvious ones have mutual friends within the group. We don't call it. I'm members of loads of group, mainly for my purpose, away from the group. If someone has a question about a pen kit, I want to see that question. I want to be able to respond to it as an owner of a shop. So that's my reason to sit there. I can't say I comment on a great deal. In fact, the first time I commented on the UK one was for this reason. I've never had a reason to comment before. I quite like just watching and seeing what's going on. You've got to keep track whether you're doing it as a hobby or doing it with a vested interest of a company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's fair enough. I mean, basically what you've just explained there is how I would consider a good run group would be run. That's, message the person if they've been out of line, give them a chance to explain why they've been out of line. If you're still not happy with what they've said, bugger off, you're not welcome in the group. You're going to upset more people than you're going to make happy. If you are not, that's fine. You're still sitting back learning, and occasionally you are putting your 2 pence in. And if it's a fair comment that you're putting in, you're still welcome. And that's how surely a group should work.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just read some of these comments out to you. Dan, your other side is the better side. They're on about your face. I tend to agree. So it sounds sensible, Dan. I'd say that's probably talking about the way you're on the site. Yeah, I'd agree. That's what you look like, Dan. Dan, you mustn't show yourself too much on your group. Maybe you should put a big smiley face as the header page. Do block someone. Do they or you contact said subscribers? Yeah, he said he does. Isn't that right? Okay, Stephen Gibson. Once I had internet, I had 2 choices: either let woodchuckers go by the wayside or step up to the plate. I took over and immediately rescinded the ban on Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen posts, but did state that adverts were. Okay, maybe you ran out of. We're not allowed. A certain member posted a YouTube video on how to use Yorkshire Grit. This video was also sponsored by Yorkshire Grit, so I deemed it as an advert and deleted it, and all hell broke loose. Hell broke loose. How would you say all hell broke loose? You deleted the advert. Before you deleted it, people that put it up, did you get in touch with the people that own the product? Did you give fair warning that you were going to delete it for the reason that you just delete it and then wait for all hell to break loose? Lydia said, Stephen Gibson, you'd have to spell out what someone just shouting out from the rooftops for a product they love. It's a very fine line and can easily be misinterpreted. Yes, it can. but it's pretty obvious if a product is being blanketed across a group as well, because you tend to get the same members doing it every single comment, and that can get to a point where you need to warn them to stop. These are available, yes. No, another member. Okay, I'm lost with that one, Stephen. Not a certain person. Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, what Stephen is saying there, Dan, is that now I understand, Steve. You came in on Woodchuckers. It's a huge group, and it was very volatile anyway. There'd been a lot of falling out anyway. There'd been a lot of people kicked off. Personally, this is my own opinion. I think the mistake that you may have made, and I don't know, I don't run any groups, okay, but I've been kicked off plenty. But I think the mistake that you made with Woodchucker, Stephen, was you allowed the ex-admin to come back on and be involved once you had taken over. And you listened to them more than you listened to the members that had been affected. And I think that's where you went wrong. And then when you were told, and other admin were told, that the old admin were being, I mean, I had one of the admin, the original admin of Woodchuckers, come on to me and use threatening behavior and all kinds of stuff, which I still have copies of, because if I was an arsehole, I could actually go through the legal proceedings of things, but I'm not like that. I'd rather meet him one day and punch him on the nose. But, you know, where the fuck do you think you are when you can message a member of a voluntary group of a hobbyist and threaten them just because you don't like what they're saying? And I wasn't rude to him. I wasn't rude to anybody on that site ever. And I spoke freely. And I was shut down by being kicked off the site, and that's not fair. I messaged the person who posted the video, explained the reason, and he took offense. Okay, well then maybe that's but it's how you move forward with that then. If someone takes offense, then move forward and work with it. If that person takes offense, do you take that person and then bring it into the group and start saying this and that, or did you keep it private between him or her and you? You know, this is where the groups make mistakes as well, because private messages don't always stay private. They start being, Dada said this and Dada said that, and it all hell does break loose then. You know, as a moderator, you're supposed to keep it moderated and keep it in its box. Fix it. If it can't be fixed, then move on. Do you know? I don't think banning and kicking people out is any way to fix something. I think you're seeing a better person if you can say, okay, I understand, we're not going to agree on this situation, let's move forward. If it continues, then you've got a right to kick that person out or say, listen, folks, this guy is continuing to carry on even though I've been fair enough. But just kicking someone off because you don't agree with it is the way out, I think. Have you anything to add there, Dan?
Sorry, you're breaking up a bit. I'm trying to keep track of the conversation. So, in regards to kicking people off just because you don't agree with it, I find myself really torn sometimes in the fact that I'm reading stuff from my direct competitors, and you've just got to draw yourself away from it. But I mean, I've had stuff come directly up against my products before. People saying I can't get through on an email or something like that, and you then get a friend that jumps in and says, "Oh no, it's terrible at replying," when actually the 95% of customers get a good reply, and you've got to pull yourself away from that. It's very tempting to shut commenting off and delete that person. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You've got to keep it flowing because it's not about your business. It's about the whole picture. I best just plug my phone in because it's going to die. I mean, we've always said in relation to advertising. He's still there, yeah. We've always said in relation to advertising that we'll allow anyone come on, a British company come on and sell the products, but we don't just want blanket advertisement. So come on and tell us about your product. Tell us how you use it. Tell us if there's any quirks to using that product. For a pen kit, for example, the case is there any tricks to putting it together? Don't just put pictures of your product that you're trying to flog on there. Contribute to the group. I think that's where people start getting annoyed is when manufacturers or retailers come in just to plug their products and don't contribute other than that sole purpose. And I can see why people get annoyed by it. As a member looking in on other groups, I can fully understand why people get knocked off at people just flogging a product. And at that point, that person would get a message. But you can't just ban them. It just creates bad feeling.
Yeah. I agree with that. And you see, I can't speak as the owner of a product. I don't own a product, you know, so I can't speak on that side. And I'm glad you've got that voice here on the chat. But the way I look at it, like I said, I think it's great to see all these products coming in. Woodturning is a huge community. There's all the products that come in. And let's face it, I mean, I've got, you can see loads of them up there. I've got a load of products there that are probably going to go off before I get to use them. You know? And the reason why I've got a lot of those products is because people told me they're good. But I'm not going to use it all. Do you know, there is such a saturation. So what you end up doing is there's 2 or 3 products up there that I use all the time because they do what I want them to do. And once the other ones go out of date, I'll throw them away and I won't use them. I won't buy them anymore. But I initially bought them because people said they were good. But maybe it didn't work out for me. Maybe they're not the right product for the sort of turning I'm doing. Do you know? So you find your product and you tend to go with it. What you'll find is when a new product comes out is there'll be saturation, it will go mad, everyone will be talking about it. Then once everybody's got it, it will calm down. And I think that's where a lot of these groups are making a mistake. Give it a time period, let the saturation come into your group. You know it's going to settle down pretty soon. See how it goes. If it's a point where it's just continuing and continuing and continuing, then that's when to step in and say, all right, lasses, come on. Without such and such. But if a new product's come in and it's doing well, then let it go mad. That's doing the business good, it's doing the community good, and everyone's happy. Do you know? I think a lot of this community stuff, there's a lot of jealousy involved with products and stuff like that. Everyone should be working together. I know you're trying to make a living. And if your product is good, you're going to sell it. People are going to buy it. More than groups to advertise your products, do you know? So I just think a lot of the time in these groups is storming a teacup. It kicks off, everyone gets dramatic, and people get kicked off because admin can't handle the sudden influx of what's happening. So it's easier just to get rid of them, and then there's people upset for completely different reasons to what it started in the first place. An admin of a group, my voice is full of static. I was just scratching my head. But yeah, do you know, just let shit happen, sit back, see what happens, and then react sensibly. Don't jump in and just boot people off. It's just, like me, listen to them, because more times than not, the mouthy people are speaking up for the people that can't be mouthy or unable to be mouthy. You know, and mouthy. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and people know that. Okay, Asgard Woodturning says, Stephen, it sounds like you're trying your best, and fair play to you for staying here and putting your side across. I'm just curious about the decision to block Yorkshire Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen, both small British companies, and don't think they're making millions. It is down to clash of personalities with the previous admin, or did he have vested interest in other suppliers? So that was Asgard would turn in. Stephen Gibson said then, Asgard, that's what I'm trying to say. The previous admins decided to ban the mentioned Sheen and Yorkshire Grit. As soon as I took over, I allowed a post that said, this bowl is unfinished with yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and I agree with that, Stephen, you did. Continue to. I think the problem also is, Stephen, and like I did mention this, it was public. I did say it publicly. You also have a product, which is very similar to those products, and I think the way it can be seen, no more than probably Dan on his as well. Hi JP, I'll get you in a second. I'll get you because I'm in the throes of things here, JP. All right.
No worries.
JP, Dan, JP. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I think you've got your own product that's very similar as well, Stephen. And I think the way it was seen, and in my eyes anyway, as a person from the outside, I started seeing it as very bigoted, and the way it worked is that everybody that was involved with Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen and was mentioned it, which were my friends, were booted off and were just shut down. And then everybody on your product, and please feel free to mention your product there, Stephen. I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of the actual product, so feel free to mention your product there. It's not about products, this show. It just seemed very personal with the clash of businesses and companies, and that's not how it should have been on a group, personally. Do you know that? And then I was targeted because I was associated with Yorkshire Grit. I was selling the products at the time. I no longer sell the products because the product has got too big for me to sell. It's moved to bigger companies, so it's not. There's no point in me selling it. I don't make enough from it because there are bigger companies selling it, and I'm delighted about that. The only reason why I was selling Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen was because I was trying to give the small guy a helping hand. I had a small following on YouTube. I was able to advertise it. I had a website. I had a bit of publicity, and I used that to the best of my ability to help those lads out. Now they have expanded and they're doing a lot better. I've let them move on. I never made, to be honest with you, a lot of the time, it was costing me money for postage and stuff like that because it was never about making money. I was never going to be made a millionaire from the product. And it never did me any good selling it or advertising it. But to be honest with you, it's a fucking good product and I'll stand by it. And that's it. You know, I use it every day and I will from now on.
It tastes really nice as well.
But that's how yeah. And that's what I'm saying, Stephen. I think there was a clash of businesses, and that should never have happened on. That should never have happened on a public forum. Tracy, I'm not sure if my sound is a problem to everybody. Can you just check that it's not?
It's a bit staticky in our hangout. I know that.
I thought it was just me.
Okay. All right. I'll see. Can I fix it? 1 second. JP, can you just tell people who you are and what you do and why you're here?
I'm Jamie. I've got a YouTube channel, JP Woodwork. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, JP_Woodwork. I'm on the Makers International podcast, and I've actually got a couple of Taylor Murphy pens.
Get it? Happy days.
How you go about that? I've got them from Mucus.
Sorry, would you just say
how's
that again?
the sound there now, folks? Sound better there?
That's better. Yeah, that's better.
I thought you just had too much to drink.
Yeah, you could.
Do you know what it is? It is actually static. I was using the webcam mic and I've got a fan running next to it. I just turned the fan off because I just noticed that there's actually the dust that's on top of the camera is actually jumping up and down from the static that's coming from the fan. But it was actually static that was being called. My apologies, Tracy. Thank you for letting us know. Okay, staticky there, staticky crackly sound here. Yeah, sound dodgy. I hope that's fixed it. I can see right. I can see where that train of thought came from, and yes, I made Ben Church an admin who runs the business with me. But what people don't realise is I've known Ben for over 30 years and trust him. Well, that's fair enough, Stephen. And do you know, because of the way the conversation went, Stephen, that's where my mind went, and because people were actually being very personal, and because, again, like I mentioned earlier, I had the original admin coming on and talking threatening behaviour to me, my back went up. And when I'm threatened, I will come out swinging. I won't sit back and think, oh, well, maybe I've done. I'll come out swinging, and I will take you. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'll get knocked out and you can move on. But if I'm not wrong, I'll stomp you. Hi, JP.
Who decides if you're right or wrong, though?
Well, it's decided when I'm unconscious on the floor.
Oh, right. Because you think that you're right, but in fact is you're wrong. Well,
then I'm a dick.
Right.
Well, I'm a dick then, yeah.
Like,
but normally,
for example, your answer is E equals MC circled, but the reality is E equals MC squared.
Don't confuse him.
No, actually, yeah, you're right. I have no idea what you're talking about. Very quickly, shouldn't the post that wasn't turning related been deleted instead of myself? Okay, so Jason, this must be a personal thing that's happening with yourself. Is it? I think I missed what happened, Jason. So you can repeat it if you like. Yeah, JP Scroll Source Tigers, Lydia said.
My Scroll Source Tigers, what, do they want to see them? Because I can go and get it if you want.
She was just saying that you do scroll. So you didn't say that you scroll saw tigers. You just said.
Oh, I scroll saw tigers, yeah. And I also drill holes into the Queen's head as of yesterday.
Isn't that like
yeah?
Isn't that punishable? Isn't defacing the Queen's face actually illegal?
I don't know.
I think you're allowed to do it now.
Coins, yeah. I think you're allowed to, yeah. You never used to be able to do it on coins, did you?
We'll soon find out when they come knocking on your door in a second. Okay, see above. Jason, I can't scroll up on the chat because what I've done is because I have very bad bandwidth with my internet.
Okay.
Okay, can you just go up there, JP, and just see what Jason Rockholders said?
How far up was it?
It's a conversation I believe he was having with Stephen Gibson.
Shouldn't the post that wasn't turning related been deleted instead of myself?
Yes, so it's above that. It's
Stephen Gibson. I was banned for commenting on a post that people were commenting on, including yourself as an admin. That was talking shit about Mike, Martin, and Glenn.
Oh, okay. So just say that again.
Stephen Gibson and I was banned for commenting on a post that people were commenting on, including yourself as an admin, that I was talking shit about Mike, Martin, and Glenn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's a conversation that you had, Jason. We don't know the full ins and outs of it, but. So he was banned for commenting about other members. Is that the gist of it? Oh, talking shit. Oh, talking badly about other members. Okay, well, I don't know if you were or not. I mean, if you were, then you should have got your ass kicked out. But if you weren't and you were sticking up for them because you thought that they were being unfairly treated, as I was, that's the reason why I got booted out. I was standing up for my friends, then yeah, that's wrong. You shouldn't get booted out. It should have been amicably fixed, and then we should have moved on like adults.
Mm.
Kicking someone off doesn't fix something, it exaggerates the problem and makes it bigger. JP, that sounds like treason to me. Yeah, you're going to get arrested, JP.
Yeah,
Looks like it.
When a scroll saw picture's done, it'd be a great treason for me to do it.
It's a cop-out. And do you know what? You do have to be commended for coming on here and standing your ground and for protecting what you believe in. And that's very admirable and fair play to you, do you know? And you have all my respect for that. This, I hope you and other people don't think that this is what this topic was about, was to slate anyone. What I want to do is I want to make the groups better that are out there, and I don't want to keep getting kicked off of groups just because I express an opinion. The reason for groups are for expressing opinion, and if you don't agree with it, well then get over it and move on. Scroll up or scroll down. Don't kick the person out just because they haven't said hello for 3 weeks, do you know? And I know that's not your group, Stephen. So I don't know. I used to enjoy woodchuckers. I enjoyed everything about woodchuckers. I learned an awful lot from woodchuckers. I made a lot of friends from woodchuckers. In fact, I can say that 80% of the people that I know now in the wood turning community, I got to know through woodchuckers. And to be kicked out because I defended some of those people, that was wrong. It should never have happened. That should never have happened. I should never have been kicked out of woodchuckers for expressing my opinion. And that's where you went wrong, Stephen, in my opinion. Had you have come to me a week after, when everything had calmed down, and said, listen, Steve, I'm sorry you've been kicked out, but the reason why you've been kicked out is blah, blah, blah. Is there some way we can fix this? Then we could have moved on. I could have gone on to woodchuckers and I could have said, listen, lads, it's all good. It's all fixed. You still have an admin that is being rude to me, Stephen. He is no longer a friend to me on Facebook, and you do need to discuss things with your admin for the way that he talks to people privately on Messenger. I'm just saying, I won't say any names, but you need to talk to that admin. Fuck on, because it's not right the way that he talks to people. Still, after I'm no longer on woodchuckers, so just letting you know that. Jason was standing up for Hampshire and Yorkshire Grit. Yeah, okay, as I was. Yeah, and fair play to you, Jason, and that's why you were kicked off. At the time, it was a very heated conversation, and I'm sure what happened was the admin just saw everybody. They felt they were being ganged up on, and they just went, fuck this, delete, 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 go away, don't want to see it, bury it, and then it's gone. We don't have to worry about it. And if we get rid of the majority that are discussing all this, then it's going to go away. And unfortunately, it didn't go away. A new group was formed. People got together, and it hurt woodchuckers badly. You might not have lost many members, but I'm sorry, Stephen, if you see woodchuckers being discussed out there in the wide community, you're being called woodfuckers, all kinds of names. If you mention woodchuckers, people say, oh, Jesus, I wouldn't go on there. They treat you like shit. And that's an awful place to be when you've got such a big community. You should be praised, and you should be spoken about as if you're the best group out there. There's one particular group I'm a member of in the making community that not many people here are even members of. In fact, I don't think any of them are, JP, are they? Of the particular one that I'm
I don't know what group you want. Are you talking about our group?
I'm talking about
the podcast group.
No, I'm talking about the particular makers group.
Well, I like to make stuff.
Yes. So.
All right. I don't think so.
That community is a solid community because there's no bullshit. If someone says something publicly and it's dealt with member on member, and other members will back other members, and then it's sorted because of grown-ups. You know, if you say something out of line, but to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen an argument on there. Have you, JP?
No, very, very. I think it's one. I've been in this community for probably 4 or 5 years, and I think I've maybe seen 2 tops in the whole time.
Yeah, because it's full of grown-ups that don't react.
The thing is, that side of that group and that community is more like a family. It can be dysfunctional with some of the things that gets posted. Like you get Pat Lack posted his ass that's sunburned. It's dysfunctional family, but it's a family nonetheless, and that's what I've always described that community as. Exactly. Now you post a picture of your ass in Woodchuckers or another group, you're getting your ass banned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so some of the chat here, I think I've caught up now. I was standing up for them. Yeah, okay, Jason. Steve Twydale, Jason Rockwell was victim of the fallout. Yeah, and as I said, that should never have happened. Jason was standing up. As I said this is Stephen Gibson. As I said to Lydia, I will take this discussion tonight and evolve Woodchuckers. Well, that is a brilliant thing to hear, and I'm glad. I hope that this discussion has helped to evolve Woodchuckers, and the Woodchuckers can get back to the group it used to be, because, like I say, it should really be a fantastic community, because there are some amazing people on there, and there's a lot to give to the community. Stephen says, yes, possibly, but it works both ways. You could have messaged me as well. I did message you, Stephen. I believe I did message. I messaged all admin of the group, even the old admin, when I didn't get responses from the new admin, and that's what kicked off me being highly insulted by one particular ex-admin. He was an absolute arsehole, to be honest with you. And if I met him, I would express how much of an arsehole he is. Lydia has a scroll saw course coming up, JP.
Oh, nice.
So do I, Lydia. I'm doing one live on Wednesday night, believe it or not.
I'm going to be starting one as well, so.
Yeah, you'd need to. You're shit at it. Andy,
Yeah, I need some practice. Yeah.
Asgard says, Andy, so was a poultice of cow dung for open wounds. Okay, I'm lost with that one, sorry. I knew you all before Woodchuckers. Woodchuckers was recommended to me in the good old days. Yeah, okay, that was Lydia. Michael Rudkin says, why can't you mention the wonderful group then? Oh, this wonderful group then.
I did mention it. It was I like to make stuff.
I like to make stuff.
The problem is the chances of you getting in is slim to none.
Yeah, I think because last time there was like 1,500.
No, what there's one admin there. He has no backup people,
and he's brilliant.
And he is. He's a top bloke, and it's basically because it's the same name as Bob Claggett. I like to make stuff group. He gets on average 3,000 to 4,000 requests a day, because obviously Bob Claggett has got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So if you put a request to join the group in, that easily gets lost in requests. So he obviously doesn't accept everybody's request, because it just takes up so much time, and he does it all through his cell phone, so. And it's kind of if you need to be kind of personal friends with somebody, because that's kind of how it's stayed a family. Everyone is close friends with everybody. That's kind of how Steve got in the group, because he was close friends with me.
Well, not really.
Well, yeah.
No, the reason why that group works so well is because it's a family, and everyone watches out for everybody else. And if you do get an arsehole on there, they'll be put in their place, plain and simple. But they won't be kicked off. Yeah. They'll just be told, don't be an arsehole.
I mean, we can give you a prime example of what it's like when we say family. A couple of times someone has been either burgled, their tool's been broken down, their workshop's broken, for argument's sake, and whatever reasons they've needed money, for example, and within a few hours or even days, a GoFundMe is set up and they've got a brand new table saw, they've got their house fixed, whatever it may be, you know, and it's all because of a group. The woodwork community is just fantastic.
It is, and that's why it's sad to see such disregard to members. You know, that are putting in. I put in as much as I can. I'm a busy man. I've got a large family. I work during the day. I'm a hobbyist wood turner. I don't make a living from wood turning. I make very little money from YouTube. You know, I don't make any money from Facebook. I just the community. So obviously, if a bunch of friends get together and start smacking me down and telling me that I shouldn't be part of them, I want to know why. And if I don't get a good example or a good reason for why I'm being slapped down, I'm going to cut. Like I say, I'll come out with fists flying, and I'll demand a reason why. And I will still continue to demand a reason why I was taken off UK and Ireland, or wood turning UK and Ireland. There was no reason to be taken off of there. I had absolutely no falling out with anyone. I wasn't rude. In fact, the last person I spoke to on that Gibson, when he asked advice on how to do a barley twist, and I had literally a week before that done a live feed on how to do a barley twist. So it was still fresh in my mind, and I told him how I did it. And that was the last comment I did. I think it was mid to end of July, which wasn't a massive amount of time. It was a good holiday ago. I'm gone. And I don't know why. I really don't understand why I would be taken off of a group, especially as it's my own two home countries, the UK and Ireland. Why would you do that? What is the reason for that? So, and I'm still baffled to think of it. I couldn't give a shit if I go back on the group at all, to be honest with you, because most of the people that are on that group have now joined the Shit and Shine. So, you know, so I'm still going to be friends with them, and it's the other group's loss. But it's just, you know, why bother doing it? Why cause all this trouble? And if you're going to shit on me, I'm going to come up on Facebook and I'm going to ask you why. Okay, so that admin was rude to me at UCAS too. Okay, well, Lydia, that's a personal, you know, yeah, don't be rude to women. That's not nice. I agree. Do see the posts about woodchuckers, and yes, it hurts, but the damage was done. Yeah, but the damage can be fixed, Stephen. You can fit. You are now admin of woodchuckers, and it is now your job to build woodchuckers and get it back to how Harry that site. And if you're seen to be trying to do that, then you will gain the respect of woodchuckers, and you will gain the respect of any other wood turner in the community. You know, this is never a swipe at anybody that is trying to do the job the best they can. But if you become a sheep and you follow the wrongdoings of others, you automatically just become part of the sheep that need to be rounded up by the dog, unfortunately.
It's like with what we do on our group, because we've obviously got the group associated with the podcast, is we are very, very lenient. We basically let anyone and everyone post what they want whenever they want, except unless they're trying to sell Ray-Ban sunglasses. Yeah, the only time we kind of step in is if they're posting rubbish YouTube channels. I know, like that Temple Boy Turnings.
Yeah, I know.
Or they start getting vicious towards other people. And when it's severely vicious, they're out. You know, when they're straightforward, calling someone out, there ain't no warning. Like when it's full-blown swear words, they're gone. Right. Apart from that, they can post whatever they want, jokes, funny pictures, whatever they're woodworking, what they've made, everything, anything goes. You know, it's all about having a laugh at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Stephen Gibson says, I've considered it, Jason, but when one calls me personally a snake, would you have them in the group? And that was before the ban.
I'd say what kind of snake?
Yeah, well, yeah, what kind of? Yeah, I mean, there are some pretty badass snakes out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if it gets personal, people get passionate about, okay, and if it's something they're doing every day and they're really into it, wound up, and they're going to get pissed off. Depending on their personality, they're going to get pissed off. They come on Messenger and they're going to go, bah, 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 fuck you, and then they're going to go again, right? Now, it's up to you to decide whether, okay, was that a spur of the moment, they're pissed off thing, or is that the sort of person they are? The best thing you can do in that situation, I would say, Stephen, is let them call you snake, leave it for a week, go back and say, right, have you calmed down over this problem? Okay? If someone calls you a snake, all of a sudden, out of the blue, when they haven't called you a snake, they've done it for a reason. And for a reason they think is right. Okay? Don't ban them. Don't insult them back. Don't kick them off. Just say, okay, well, that's your opinion. Maybe we can talk another time when we both calm down. And then go. Don't get involved with conversation for a week. If they're still goating you and annoying you, then that's when you can say, okay, you're obviously a person that's looking for a fight. Then you can ban them. All right? But to act when heat is up and temper is up is the wrong thing to do. I'm in that kind of work. I work with children and adults with challenging behavior and special needs. And if I was to get a person with special needs turns around and called me something or hit me, I wouldn't be in my job very long. You've got to walk away, assess the situation, and come back and fix it.
Another thing to kind of take into consideration as well when it comes to what's the best way of putting it? Keyboard warriors is probably the best way of putting it. Is you can't really tell what they're saying when they say it. Like, say for example, if I was to call Steve an arsehole, for example, for argument's sake, I could say it, but if I was to say it to him in person, I could say it two different ways. I could say it in a joking way, I could say it in a serious way, and it'd be my tone of voice. But
you mean it anyway.
But yeah, there's no tone of voice on a keyboard, you know. So I could quite easily write something, but you can't tell if I'm writing it seriously, if I'm writing it in a joke way. Do you kind of get where I'm going?
Yes. Yeah, and before you came on,
that's why you stick a little winky face in there.
Yeah, or an LOL at the end.
Yeah, I did actually say that earlier on before you joined us, JP, that to actually express yourself with a keyboard is nigh on impossible. Do you know?
Exactly, yeah.
A winky face to some people would be, hey? A winky face to other people would be, do you know? And it can be expressed completely differently. Do you know? That can get a married man seriously in trouble doing winky faces. Don't do it.
Yeah, but that's when you do it in the bar.
Or a kid.
Different, Steve.
Exactly. Obviously, Steve and Jason have got past problems with each other, and it's still a little bit tender. And I think the best thing you two can do to move forward is either get together on a messenger and work it out, or just walk the other way from each other. Do you know, it's just not worth the energy. Do you know, if it's unfixable, then don't try and fix it, because it'll only get worse. Do you know?
I say duct tape them to each other and put them in a room.
Oh no,
Is
that's a
that
movie.
what you plan to do on a weekend?
That's a movie. Sorry, no, that's a movie. No way. That's okay. So what we're saying here, I'm not going to get into your argument, lads. Your personal argument there. Okay, I'm not going to read them out anymore. Like I say, that's something you need to yourselves.
I'm slightly amazed that this has turned into some sort of Jeremy Kyle type show. I never expected it to go this way, but I'm sort of liking it.
Yeah, well, I have a DNA test here that your wife asked me to do.
Right, okay.
And
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm glad it's my wife asked me to do it, not my dad.
Yeah. And
hopefully, I'm his son. I could do with a few more pen kits.
Yeah, it's not yours. It's not yours, Dan. Sorry, it's not yours.
I'm only 32.
I'm older than you. I don't know how that would work.
Okay, no. So to be honest with you, considering how huge this is in the community, this topic, I'm quite happy with how people have contained themselves and have talked about this sensibly in the chat, and it's been quite nice to see that people are willing to kind of move on, I think, and fix things. Steve Gibson says, hindsight is a wonderful thing, Steve. Yeah, I agree. It is. The written word can always be misconstrued, I believe that's meant to say. Yeah, exactly what we were saying. Jason says, my point though, if I called you a snake, I was banned for it. Why would a ban stay because of it? Law makes no sense. Okay, again, that's for Stephen, you to get over. You're both fucking snakes. There, I said it. Boom! What are you going to do about that? Ban me from my own show? Am I missing something here? If the Woodchuckers admins and moderators aren't interested in making amends, then sod it. I'm very happy in Grit and Sheen. Everyone is friendly there. Okay, well, to be honest with you, Lydia, I think Stephen Gibson is being fair enough here. He has actually just said he's happy to put shit behind us all. So maybe this is a way of moving forward with Woodchuckers. Do you know? Maybe we can actually start fixing things. And I mean, it's not easy to run and admin a group. I will tell you that it's not easy. I've been a moderator on poetry groups and things like that, and those poets, they can be very dangerous people, I tell you. Give you a good lashing with words.
There's a lot of dead poets.
And big fucking words that you don't understand too. So Stephen's saying he's willing to put shit behind him, and that's good. And move forward from this, Stephen. I hope this show has helped you as much as it's helped, if it's helped anybody at all. It might just have been 2 hours of complete bullshit, but at least it gave me something to do for a couple of hours. He got nothing to do in his life, and JP.
Yeah, it's just our last one is upstairs.
Okay, so Lydia says, why the ones drawing lines the sand and reaching out with olive branches don't know what? Okay, Lydia, I don't understand that. I'm sorry. Do it then, Stephen. Don't. Okay, Lydia. Yeah, he has said he is going to do it, and we'll see. We'll see from here. Hopefully, we can move forward with Woodchuckers, and we can get it back to how it was. Because I think JP, Dan, are you or were you a member of Woodchuckers? You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I still am.
Oh, you are. Yeah.
I'm a member of Grit and Sheen and Grit as well.
Yeah. And
I posted over there using Yorkshire Grit the other day, cleaning the headlights.
Oh, okay.
That was quite interesting. I'm going to do that.
He only stole that idea off of me, Dan. Don't
talk rubbish.
Don't heed him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's whoever puts it on Facebook first, isn't it? So if you
I did a live feed. Yeah. You stole it off me. You stole it off me, and you're banned from this channel. Oh, actually, no, you're not, because you're the only moderator. Okay, so let me see. Wurzel says new breakfast TV stars in the making. Okay, that sounds good to me. Wait till Rob joins us. Then that's when shit hits the fan. Tracy Keaton, oh my goodness. What's wrong, Tracy? Has my sound gone wonky again?
No.
Jason, I'm nice to everyone. Yeah, I know, Jason. Everyone's nice to everyone. Until, I mean, you know, we can't all agree on everything. But I think the moral of this show is take a step back when you're about to go off on one. Think about what you're going to say and then say it. Same with if you're a moderator of a group. Think about why that thing has been said or why that particular thing has happened, and then message the people involved and discuss it. Don't just take your gun out from your hip and shoot them in the head because they farted. That's all I'm saying. Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag.
I think Stephen deserves a lot of credit for coming on and putting his point across. Yeah, and I have given him credit. And yeah, he is the only person that has come on. I wish that someone would have come on for Wood Turning UK and Ireland and tried to explain themselves, because I would have liked to have heard that one. Jason loves. Okay, Tracy loves Jason, and Jason loves Tracy. There's a romance starting there. It's lovely to see.
Maybe we could do like an extended after event.
Blind date.
Actually, yeah, exactly. Actually, I do want to mention that Jason has a new YouTube channel. If everyone wants to head over there, is it called the One-Armed Wood Turner? I think, Jason, is that right? So, JP, if you can find it, stick a link up there.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Can you also find a link for Taylor's Murfield and put that up there for me?
Is it a YouTube channel, or do you want me to put the website?
Put the website up, I think. Is that better, Dan, to put the website up?
Yeah.
I've only got a YouTube channel to do this, so website's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Right,
who else? Put your own one up as well, JP.
I'm irrelevant.
Who else did
put mine up there? Oh, Taylor Murphy's in my favourites. Would you believe it?
See, happy days. Happy days. This is what it's all about.
Who else did we have on this? Oh yeah, could you look up the Rumboy? Rumboy's podcast.
The who?
You know what? I'll put it in the description.
Where is it? It's on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah.
YouTube, yeah. It's the Rumboys.
One word.
Stephen Gibson's is Wood Turning Products.
Is it? Yeah. Put that. Yeah. Sorry, Stephen. I'm trying to remember who I said I was going to put up and stuff like that. If you've got a YouTube channel or a website or anything like that, shout it now, and I'll get JP to link it as well.
I can't find that, so let me see if I can find it on Google.
We'd put Woodchuckers up, but we're probably all banned from it. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, Stephen. Sorry. Building bridges.
If you talk nicely, you might be allowed back in.
You can put Shit and Shine up there as well, JP, and Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Sheen.
Don't forget UK Pen Turners.
UK Pen Turners.
That's on Facebook.
Facebook.
It's a nice little Pen Turners group for you all. You're all welcome.
I would help out, JP, but like I say, if I go onto Facebook or any of that, then I might lose my...
Yorkshire Grit actually sponsors the podcast now.
That's right, yeah. You
Can
stick the podcast up as well.
Oh, I'm going to.
Turner's Wood Products. What's your website, Stephen?
Sorry?
I say Stephen's is Turner's Wood Products, but what's his actual website?
Stephen, could you write your website address, but leave spaces in between, because if you try and actually put the website up, it won't let you do it. It's only the admins that can put the links up. So if you type your web address.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Of Scott, Mr. Resin Blanks, was that the guy at UKIS?
Yeah, he's a strange lad. He's just been wearing my shed today. Nice boy, actually.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah, most of my
I
chocolates.
think I've got a blank off of him. It's got ladies' underwear in it.
Yeah, as he likes casting his missus' stuff. It's
Yeah,
classed as alternative.
yeah, I've got to do that. I'm going to put that on my channel. So
What? His missus' underwear or the blanks?
yeah, the blank.
Right. Okay. Did you just call Scott a blank?
Yeah, I've got a blank. Yeah.
Oh, blank. Sorry, I thought he said it was a blank. Sorry.
Yeah, he's turning blanks, shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, shoot. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's got
I don't like
Okay, so
comment.
Andy Pugh Pow 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 Bell Bell. I'm not doing any turning yet, but have just started Tales of the Tinkerage. So is that a YouTube channel, Andy, or Tales from the Tinkerage?
Right, there's Green Sheen. Let me put woodchuckers in there as well, in case anyone wants to.
It's
already in
one
there.
word. Is it .com, .co.uk? Who is it? Public Facebook page, anything wood.
Pew pew.
And Tracy gets to select who's in there. So, and Tracy's a hard ass, so don't mess with her. Okay, so Andy's is a YouTube.
Right, Scott Gibson, it's something.com as he started writing the website. Where have I missed? It's all one word. Turner's Wood. Oh, here we go. TurnersWoodProducts.com. Turner's Wood.
Good one there, Dan. Good man.
Yeah, well, you see, I got fed up. I got fed up with all these pictures of American companies sending out free sweets to people. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll get a load of free chocolates for my customers, and I've got some BritishMade Pancakes.com, and I've also got some TaylorsMurphy.com chocolates. All right, so when you order, you now get a nice little chocolate. So I thought I'd throw that one in there.
Do you get some sent to you if you've had the owner on the show?
No.
Oh.
No. Because I'm pretty sure you were the guy that turned around to me and said, no point saying to beef pancakes because I don't turn bends. But I'm not going to hold it.
Oh,
I'm not going to hold it against you.
Becca. Yep.
Not gonna... So, and you see, I did mention British Made Pancakes briefly, but I own both. I co-own British Made Pancakes with a guy called Alex Bellringer, and he has real issue with me eating the British Made Pancakes chocolates instead of the Taylor's Murphy chocolates because he's paid half towards these ones and not the other. So that's for Alex.
Oh, well, they're the ones to send me then, just to piss him off even more.
Yeah. They're nice, actually. Scott will confirm that he's nice. He ate a load in my shed today without me knowing.
Lydia is saying she's messaged you, JP. I don't know why.
Oh,
maybe she's.
Oh, if it's one of their messages.
Okay, guys, we are just running down to kind of. We are about to finish up. Could you just give me?
Stop sending me these messages.
Could you just give me just a quick feedback? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up as well, guys, because the thumbs up do help with the way things work with YouTube. I'm not sure how, but they do. And in videos and searches and stuff like that. Give me a bit of feedback too on the comments once the video gets put back up again.
I just gave you a thumbs up, Steve.
Thanks, JP. There's probably guaranteed that there's going to be one thumbs down because there always is. There is a Steve hater out there. I'm not afraid.
There's a thumbs down, just like you done on my interview on the podcast.
I'll give you a thumbs up. There's definitely 2 thumbs down there. Who did that?
Shall I quickly log into the podcast and make sure there's another one?
Do, and log into Temple Boy Turnings and give it a thumbs down too. Listen, guys, thanks a million. It's been absolutely brilliant tonight. I've had really good viewership considering it's the first show. I'm very sorry that Rob wasn't able to join us. I was looking forward to doing the show with Rob, obviously, but due to his granny unfortunately passing away. She was a good age. She was 92 years of age. She had a fantastic life, but unfortunately, she just got too tired to carry on. She will be greatly missed, and I loved her dearly, as did Rob and his family. So, like I say, keep him in your prayers or your thoughts or in however you think, and I'm sure he'll appreciate that. You have one thumbs down. Yeah, Tom, that's pretty much the norm. I have one hater out there.
I imagine it's the guy from UK and Ireland Wood.
Yeah, probably. Hey, what the heck? And look, even when they're putting the thumbs down, it still means that they took the time to come over and give me the thumbs down. So
yeah, they took the time to officially hate you.
It's a shame when YouTube don't adopt a finger up as opposed to a thumbs up, because that
would
really
be
fun.
Brilliant, wouldn't it? That would be fun.
That'd be really funny.
I think I would use that a lot on Facebook.
See, thumbs up I saw last year. I think fingers up are definitely the future.
Yeah.
Because you could rate it as well between a 2 fingers up or a 1 fingers up, depending on how serious you think it is. You could almost go to the moving hand gesture as well if you really wanted to push the boat out.
Well, depending where your channel, you can have the 2 fingers for the British and the 1 for the American.
Yeah, and then they could have like a
what about the Irish?
They could have a forearm kind of one as well. You know, a real.
That's nice. Or you could do like a 2 finger salute. That could work.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Or if you're joking, you could do that.
That's a good one. I like that one. Right, guys, listen, thank you all for joining us. It's been brilliant. I hope that we've built some bridges tonight. If we haven't built some bridges, I hope that we've planted a few seeds in the minds of moderators and owners of said businesses and groups. Thank you, Dan, for joining and helping us out with the panel. Thank you, JP, for finally arriving. So thank you, Shane, for being part of the show earlier on. He had to go because he's very newly married and there's a huge thumb on top of his head.
A thumb or a middle finger?
No, it's a thumb.
Okay.
Guys, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. I will let you know if Rob's going to be joining us. And if you have any ideas for shows, topics, anything like that, give me a shout, and I'm open to suggestions. If you want to join the panel on Facebook or on YouTube or anywhere else, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this new channel, and we'll see you next Saturday. Thank you very much, guys. Dan, JP, stay there for a second, and I will thank you once we go off air. Thanks, guys. I'll see you again next time. I am live again tomorrow night on Temple Boy Turnings channel. Bye-bye, guys.
Bonjour.